What's up guys, my name's Alec, and in today's video I'm going to be giving you 5 tips that you need to learn before the next season comes out with Ranked 2.0. So first of all, I'm going to go over learning the meta. Now, you need to learn the meta because there's a new season coming out, right? And with a new season comes new operators, new balance changes, and with all of the new things that they introduce in a season, things are bound to change with how you play the game, right? And the first being the meta. Well, what exactly does the meta mean? For those of you who do not know, the meta of something is just the best way of doing something. So the meta of Siege is the best way of playing it, meaning the best operators, the best maps, the best bans, where to push, how to drone, how to position yourself in accordance with utility, right? What utility counters what utility, stuff like that. A huge change that they just made last season was EMP grenades, and you had an entire season to learn how to use them, when to use them, who has them, the meta with them, who to ban in coordinates with how you're going to use EMP grenades, how to use each operator that has EMP grenades, stuff like that. And now with this upcoming season, people know all of that now, right? So it's not going to be as forgiving, and you really need to learn the meta and understand when and how to use EMP grenades to be able to use them for the fullest effect. And the new map is coming in, right? Nighthaven Labs. If you haven't seen it, it's on test server right now. I've been streaming it on my YouTube live a lot, which you should go check out if you sub to the channel down below. But essentially, it's a pretty big map. This season is a huge season in terms of content. We have a new map, a new operator. We have drone skins, cross-play and cross-progression. Ranked 2.0. A new anti-cheat, right? Or I think it's just anti-cheat updates. I'm not sure about that, but they're doing stuff with the anti-cheat finally after 2 years. But you get the idea, right? Like, there's a lot of content, and with that, there's going to be a complete meta change. And I will say, there are certain operators that are getting certain balance changes as well, right? Sledge is going to be a 3 armor. They're making Zero a 3 speed. They're making Melusi a 1 speed. They're tweaking operators and their abilities and who's getting what utility, stuff like that. Like, there's a lot of stuff coming, so you need to be able to relearn these operators and how to play them to be able to actually rank up in the rank scene. And it's going to be difficult, right? But I actually just made a video, which I put in the top right here, that explains the top 5 operators that you need to relearn for the upcoming season, because there's a lot, and you need to actually relearn a few that have been changed very heavily. That being said, just learning the meta in general is going to help you out so much. And going into learning the meta and learning how the game works, my second tip is just going to be learning the game in general, right? This game is an extremely complex game, and it takes you probably a little over 500 hours just to even scratch the surface of being average at this game, right? Because there's so much that you have to learn. This game is the antithesis of a game that is not newer player friendly. It's an extremely hard game for newer players to just pick up, right? You can learn mechanics pretty easily if you've played FPS games before, and that can carry you probably all the way to gold in general. But after that, it's raw game sense and it's raw experience, and the only way to actually get better at the game and learn how to do it is just by playing it more, right? There are certain tips, which I'm going to give you in my 3rd, 4th, and 5th tip, that can actually help you do this faster and quicker. So, you know, there are certain things that you can do to accelerate this process, but learning the game is going to be your best bet for playing Ranked 2.0. Like we just said for the first tip, learning the meta, right? That is included in learning the game. You need to learn how to use your drones properly, how to use cameras properly, how to use utility properly, how to set up site, how to attack site, stuff like that. I would say the reason I'm giving this tip so strongly, it's such a general tip, right? Learn the game, obviously. But what you need to understand is there's no other game in the gaming market like this game, right? Like, this is an 80% strategy game with 20% FPS, right? So a super strategy heavy game, most people are playing it like it's an FPS because they're used to COD style games, so the community is extremely weird. The amount of intricacies like droning, watching cams, drone denial, cam denial, reinforcing site setup, attack metas, the countless amount of operators and utility that you have to learn, and learn how to counter, and learn how to keep the enemy team from countering you. Like, it's so complex, and the best way that you can learn the game is just by playing it and going online, educating yourself a little bit, right? But just going in and learning the game hands-on is going to be your best bet if you want to get better at Ranked 2.0. This also goes into my 3rd tip, which is just playing a lot, right? So my first tip was learn the meta. My second tip was just playing the game a lot and learning the game like that. But my 3rd tip is going to be playing a lot. And the reason I'm going to say play a lot is not because obviously playing a lot helps you get better at the game. That was my second tip. But the elo system is actually changing with this upcoming season with Ranked 2.0. So let me explain this to you. At least what it is in the test server, and I hope this changes, is when you win, you gain 80 elo. And when you lose 9. It's a bit stupid, right? But if we break it down, there's 5 ranks per rank. So there's copper 5, copper 4, copper 3, copper 2, copper 1, and it does that for every single rank. So 5 tiers of each rank, and there's copper, bronze, silver, gold, plat, emerald, diamond, and champ. That's 8 ranks. So 8 times 5, what is that, 40? There's 40 ranks you have to go through, each of which has a 100 elo difference in between them. So being able to gain 80 elo, really you only need to play and win like 60 games to be able to reach champ. It's a bit ridiculous, right? And because you lose so little elo, it's 9 elo, you can lose, I'd say like 9 games, and then you just win one and you earn it all back, right? Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. So it's such a rewarding thing that even people who are terrible at the game, and we've never seen anything like it in the history of gaming in terms of how broken and stupid this elo system is. That being said, playing a lot and just milking the elo system until the devs realize that it's really broken and stupid is going to be the best tip that you can use to be able to actually rank up. Because like I said, you can lose 10 games, 9 games, 8 games, whatever it is, and then you just win one and you earn it all back, right? So imagine you go on a winning streak and you rake up like 5 times in 6 or 7 matches. Like, it's so stupid. It's so stupid how broken it is. And you need to be milking it and abusing it by just playing the game a lot. And playing the game a lot, you're going to learn how to play the game better along the way, just like I said from my second tip, which is just learning the game. And I will say, if you're a bad player and you're in the high ranks, you don't have to worry about going against people that are really good at the game, because there's something called an underlying rank, which is the actual skill set that you're given. So it's still skill-based matchmaking. If you have the skill of a copper and you're in diamond, you're only going to get players in your lobbies that are also in diamond but have skills of coppers, right? So it's still skill-based matchmaking. You still have an underlying elo and rank that they don't tell you, but your rank is still given to you depending on how much you win. So rank doesn't really matter. It's not really a true metric of skill because there's an underlying rank system at play. So just playing the game a lot, no matter what skill level you are, you can get the highest rank easily in weeks. It's actually insane, and that's why I wanted to make this tip. And then going into the fourth tip is educate yourself. Now this is probably the best tip that I can give you from a content creator perspective because it gets me more views, but I do want to say, at least personal experience for me, educating myself using external websites and things outside of the game is what actually helped me rank up the most. I was hard stuck gold and plat for a while, right? I'd say for probably like 3 years of me playing Siege, because I played a lot on console and PC, right? So the one thing that actually got me out of the rut was watching content creators on YouTube and watching Pro League, right? Because I would sit and I would actually like listen to every single thing they were saying. I would take notes. I would watch Pro League and think exactly why they're doing every single thing that they're doing. And I would try to piece it all together in my head. And then I would try to replicate it in game because I'm a hands-on learner like most people are, especially if they play video games. And it just helped me out a lot, right? So platforms that you can do this on, obviously YouTube. If you're watching this video, you care enough to go to other websites as well. Don't use you watching this YouTube video as an excuse to not go do other things and try to, educate yourself as well. So YouTube, Twitch is kind of dead for Rainbow Six Siege, but if you go on YouTube Live or Twitch Live, there's still some creators, so don't discriminate on the live stream platforms. Pro League, Challenger League, like I said, they stream live on Twitch, but also they make YouTube videos and they post every VOD of every single match in all of Challenger League and Pro League, so it's actually extremely helpful. You can watch the best players play for free. And then you have Discord. So if you don't know, I actually just made a Discord server last weekend. If you were on my YouTube Live, you got early access to that. If not, sub the channel so you can see my YouTube Live when I play the game on stream. But if you go to my Discord, I have a chat that has a Google form in it, and if you submit a clip on YouTube through that Google form to me, I'll actually review your gameplay every single Thursday of the week. So if you want me to coach you for free on my YouTube channel and give you tips on how you can improve your personal gameplay, it's free. All you gotta do is join the Discord server, select a rank as your role, and you can do it, and I'll literally review it. I have such a low sub count that I guarantee you, if you watching this went to my Discord server, doesn't matter if you're on console, it doesn't matter, I will review your VOD within the month. Like, it for free. Why not do it? You'll have somebody that's experienced, that gets paid to make content for the game, that's a high rank, be able to coach you for free. There's no harm in doing it. You literally click a few buttons and you're there. So, just YouTube, Twitch, Pro League, Challenger League, Discord, there's tons of stuff, right? So educating yourself is definitely a great tip. And then going into my number 5 spot is going to be using utility. So if you were listening to me back when I was talking in the number 2 tip, I said that the game is 80% strategy and 20% mechanics and shooting people, right? So the reason I said that is because of how diverse and complex the game is, right? I said that earlier. But utility is the antithesis of why the game is so complicated and why it's so different, because there's so much, right? There's so much to learn. Reinforcements against site setups, utility, secondary utility, how to counter these pieces of utility, everything, right? So one thing that you need to understand is utility is a huge part of the game. You can play off of it to get freer kills. If you're going around, running around with Alibi 1.5 and just killing people, sure, you might get to plat, but you're probably just going to have an ego and get hard stuck anyways. So using utility is the thing that can get you out of those ruts and out of that rank. So, first of all, utility placement. Where do you put utility? Why do you put utility there? How do you play off of the utility? Who do you pick on certain maps? Who do you pick if some people are banned and some people aren't banned? Who do you pick if the attackers are picking somebody that you want to counter, or vice versa for defense, right? So being able to learn all of this and use utility correctly is going to put you ahead of 80% of players who are just running and gunning for fun, right? So utility placement is a huge thing. A great example is somebody like Melusi, right? You put her banshees down and you swing off of her banshees. You don't just put it down and leave it be and go run around and kill people. You could do that, but you're just going to get kills and you're not going to play off of your utility to get more kills that you could be doing without just running around, right? So utility placement, playing off of your utility, is extremely important, and that also leads me into game sense, right? So you need to understand utility and how to use it, but you also need to understand the flow of the round. So you need to understand where you need to start the push, how you need to be able to push people out, drone people out, flush the defenders out of wherever they're sitting, or you need to know how to roam and keep the attackers from flushing you out. You need to learn the flow of the round, so if there's a minute left into the round and you're still roaming and you have a bunch of teammates dead, you need to realize, maybe I should rotate back to site, right? Learning the flow of the round and where you need to be at certain times, depending on the utility that the attackers are using, is extremely important. So that's just general game sense. Again, you can get that from educating yourself on YouTube or just playing the game, learning the game, and learning the meta, the first 4 tips that I just gave you at the beginning of the video. And then, using utility, like I said, recapping the meta, the thing that I went over in tip number 1 is you need to learn the meta of how the game works so that you can counter certain really common pieces of utility to be able to get an upper edge on people in the game. But that's pretty much it, right? Ranked 2.0, a lot of changes coming, the elo system completely different, but you have so many tools that you can use to educate yourself that there's no excuse to not get better, especially with people like me making guides and people like you being able to abuse an elo system that I really hope gets patched soon. Anyways, that's it for the video. Sub the channel down below if you want to get better at the Game Room 6 Siege. I upload every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and that's it. I'll see you in the next one. Later.